Good afternoon. We are the Informavores, your constant consumers of information. I am Alex Schumann.
I'm Ryan Jones.
And I'm Marcus Rippentrop.
All right. Now, this is our first time in the main studio, so we're getting situated. But we'd like, for those who have never heard us before, we'd like to. What we kind of do is it's a political news discussion show. Essentially, run a roundtable thing. What we like to do in the future is we're going to bring on plenty of guests. Hopefully, get you some exclusive interviews with local politicians. Hopefully, a few national, but and also provide with some exclusive news stories that we'll do on our own. And we'd like to clarify just ahead of time that none of us would ever swear to know everything, nor would we say we come even close. However, we devote an unhealthy amount of time to reading and covering every major news outlet and the not-so-major news outlets that are still accurate in order to be as informed as humanly possible without actually, sitting in the policy meetings. So if you do hear something that you don't agree with, which you will, or if you hear something that you think or know isn't accurate, please email us at informavoresradio@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Twitter or become a fan on Facebook and write on our wall. You can find us by simply looking up the word Informavores. We will monitor all those outlets while we're on the air and when off the air, and we really want you to be involved with the show. On future episodes, we plan to bring you... But should we just go straight into our topics?
Let's get started.
All right, let's do this. The Supreme Court last week made a very interesting decision to allow corporations to have the same rights as an American citizen in terms of donations to political campaigns. Now, it's not the amount that they can still only donate a certain amount to the candidate itself, but they can spend as much as they want on ads. Should we go straight into the reaction clip from Senator Chuck Schumer?
Okay.
All right.
The Supreme Court announced its opinion in Citizens United. While my staff and I are still reviewing the opinion, this much is clear. The Roberts Court has turned back the clock on our democracy by over a century. This disastrous decision paves the way for free and unlimited special interest spending in our elections. With a stroke of a pen, the court decided to overrule the 100-year-old ban on corporate expenditures and override the will of millions of Americans who want their voices heard in our democracy. Now, robber barons can act like parasites, striking at the very roots of our democracy. At a time when Americans are worried about too much influence, this opens the floodgates and allows special interest money to overflow our elections and undermine our democracy. Today's ruling, decided by the slimmest of majorities, guts our system of free and fair elections. The bottom line is this. The Supreme Court has just predetermined the winners of next November's elections. It won't be Republicans. It won't be Democrats. It'll be corporate America. Our system of government's the best in the world, due to the ability of average citizens to participate and engage their elected officials without the belief that there are corrupting influences at play. But this opinion, if gone unchallenged, will permanently taint future elections. Allowing corporations to spend at will on elections, which is what the court has just allowed, could have undue influence on elected officials. The money spent and the airtime purchased by deep-pocketed interests will dwarf the voice of average Americans. I have not seen a decision that more undermines campaign finance, and it's probably one of the 3 or 4 decisions in the history of the Supreme Court that most undermines democracy. We will regret the day that this decision has been issued. And at a time when Americans are so worried about having say in Washington, this just brushes those worries aside and says, leave it to big money, they'll take care of you.
That was Democratic Senator Chuck Schumann of New York, and that was this seems to be the tone of all of the Democratic Party in response to this. it went that way in the vote, as well as the people's reactions. The Republicans tended to favor this, and the Democrats did not like it at all. So let's have a couple of discussion points about this. Do you guys agree with this or not? Do you think this is a good decision?
I really don't have a strong opinion either way. I'm very split because I can see why corporations should be able to express their First Amendment rights to give as much money they want to not to campaigns, but to ads. But I can also see that it can just become a lobbying, and all these corporations will have all this power against it. So I'm really split. I don't know which way it should go.
Yeah, for a long time, well, not for a long time, for the week that I've been battling this in my mind, I've had a terrible time, but, I don't agree with it at all.
At all?
I don't know, because I see their point. I see that, yes, it is a First Amendment sort of situation, but there is nothing about a private corporation that says that it represents its employees accurately at all. It's really more about, it's the First Amendment right of that random CEO who is going to flood all this money in there so that he can continue to make a profit.
See, this is where you're wrong. According to every instance of the law, a corporation is a citizen in every facet of the law. It can sue, it can be sued, it can express any rights. It is a separate legal entity from its owners. So if the company wants to express their opinion, why can't they? This is a clear violation of the First Amendment. It is government-banned speech. How is that? I don't understand how you guys can disagree with this. I hate the decision. I don't like how special interests run the country, and this is going to make it even worse. But at the same time, I'm very, very protective of my First Amendment rights. And I think that this is explicitly a First Amendment case.
I agree. However, there is such a tremendous danger in that candidates can lose control of their campaigns now, and they can completely control the ads. They'll do everything. The corporation can completely run the messaging. Okay, and that is far more. I know that it's, you leave it up to the American people and stuff like that, but the American people don't step up. They don't do that. And so you have to adjust. You have to alter the Constitution. You have to alter things like that to deal with the situation, because the way it's designed right now does not work. It doesn't.